Fine, so you can sit down, we have a place here for you. You're not ashamed of me, I'm not ashamed of you. Sit down, it's okay. שהכל נהיה בדבר. חיים, טוב משהו, חיים. Chaim, so we picked just to speak about tonight. I said it's Torah V'Voy. I don't have to explain what Torah V'Voy is, yes, it's okay. Torah V'Voy, I have to explain what that means. And Midas Hadin and Midas Harachim. So where do we start? We start Bereshis Bura Lekim. It's Hashemayim V'Suretz. So Kuzbachi created the world. Two parts, Shemayim and Uretz. Shemayim are the heavens, and Uretz is the Uretz where we are right now. Shomlech and Bishlah. Then the Pusik continues, Uretz. The Pusik is not talking about the Shemayim anymore. Uretz is Shemayim Uretz, but Uretz why isn't the Pusik talking about Shemayim either? Bereshis Bura Lekim Shemayim Uretz. Shemayim was Choseh Torah. We're talking all about the Uretz. We're talking about Shemayim. The answer is, Dvar Hashem Shemayim Nasi. Torah V'Voy, what does Torah V'Voy mean? Torah V'Voy, there was a procedure of all this. You go in once, you see in a factory of things that are happening, changing, going up, going down, breaking up. But you don't see the complete thing. You know, it's a Torah V'Voy. You see architect gives you a drawing. You don't know what it is. You know, for me it's Torah V'Voy. Then you see blocks. You don't see a finished thing. It's actually Torah V'Voy. So the Kushvochi Boina Oilamis Umachrivam. He built 7 times and destroyed it. What does destroying mean? Destroying means it didn't come to its tachlis that Kushvochi created the world. He created the world for a reason. Berus of Yitzartiv, Achosisiv. L'chvoidi Berus of Yitzartiv. Cholpol Hashem Lemanai. I created the world that I should be recognized, dafke in places that you might think that you are the boss, you're running the show. There, I want you to recognize the famous story of the Baruch Mezhevich, that he was playing hide and seek in the Zayda's house, and he was hiding, and nobody was looking for him. So he came crying. Zayda, I'm hiding over, and now nobody's looking for me. So the Baal Shem Tov also started crying. Why is Zayda crying? The Baal Shem was also waiting over 5,782 years. We look for him, and nobody's looking for him. What does that mean? Nobody's looking for him. Well, so the story, the one the Rebbe of Chabad Marash was learning. He went out in the street. He wasn't supposed to go over to the. Those days it was 2 separate sections, the Yidden and the Goy. And without feeling, he went over to the Goyish section. There was a soldier and told him, "Who are you? What are you looking for?" He started yelling. He didn't even hear. So a few times, he went over to him with his gun, and he said, "Who are you? And what are you looking for? What are you looking for here?" So suddenly the Rebbe Marash tells him, "Tell me, how much did they pay you here for standing all day and guarding that nobody should go over from one side to the other side?" "I get paid 10 rubles a month. I'm ready to give you 10 rubles a day and come to my house and ask me 3 times a day that question, who are you? What are you looking for here?" So that's always the question. Who am I? What am I looking for? Because the person doesn't know who he is. The person doesn't know what he's looking for. So I just start, it's like going into a factory. You got work. They call you, come in. You stand to work. Sign all the papers. Okay, go into the factory. What do I do here? There's no boss there. There's no around. Everybody's doing what he wants here. So who am I? What am I looking for? That's actually the feeling that we have in this world. You come in, everyone's schlepping in all the sides. This guy's telling me, listen, they do this, one's doing that. So who am I, and what am I looking for? That's where we are. So if that's not enough, because Baruch even created it, in such a way, stirring 7 times. That means it's actually called tzimtzum. It's called levush, hiding himself. He's here and everything. Leis asa apunim enai. But einoi guf, the einoi maisiga guf. It's in all places. It's everywhere. He's behind everything. On everything. But you cannot see him. You cannot understand him. Shamayim, that Kodesh Baruch Hu created. Oh, Shalom Aleichem. Oh, that's I need that the most. Shalom Aleichem, Ari. Shalom Aleichem.
I'm sorry if I'm not talk nice today. I'm so busy. I'm stuck at the job. So
I don't talk nice either. Don't worry. And they tell me thank you, but they regret that they called me before. After wie lange reden wir schon? In Canada, die verstehst ja Jiddisch, Englisch.
Ich kann mit der Portugiesisch daran.
Die kannst du so, kannst du Englisch?
Just focus about the Stelle with him.
Total. What does that? Je hebt nog gaan.
Everyone's understand over.
Chaim Tazolem, אנחנו עשינו תרגום את חיים, איזה חיים. לא צריכים להסביר מה זה תוהו ובוהו, אתה יכול להסביר מה זה תוהו ובוהו באנגלית? So Kodesh Baruch Hu created the world. V'eish es bur lakim es ha-shamayim v'sluitz. For shamayim we didn't need any tohu v'vohu. Shamayim that is the closest that can be. The Kodesh Baruch Hu, for us shamayim is something that's called ayin. We don't understand, but if you talk to Kodesh Baruch Hu when he created the world, Dvar Hashem, he just created a word and came shamayim. So we have the shamayim finished. But the Uretz, in order to create the world, we had 10 vayomes we had to do until we created the world. And those 10, which is practically, but until we created them practically, we had to create them potentially. To create them potentially took 2,000 years. Before the creation of the world, the Kodesh Baruch Hu created the Torah, created the potential of the world, the koach of the world, which is the Torah, and we made a few nisuyim, we made a few experiences 7 times, which is getting the 7 midas. Actually, what messed it up, every time he created a world, it says vayim loich. They were disconnected. Actually, because Baruch Hu created the world, we should connect them. Yeah, but since we made them materialize, chomi, so gashmi, so then everyone goes around the boss. There's no boss here, and they don't see anybody. So that's not exactly what I want. I want here. So every time he created a world, it's vayim loich vayomes. It's in the soft parsha. Yishlach, we see that 7 maluchim by Adam vayim loich vayomes. Till it comes the 8th one, says vayimlech hadar. Hadar means hadar moed shemayim. I'm ready to give back everything to the Baruch Shem. Then Kodesh Baruch Hu says here, I have a complete way how I created the world. Shakai mish omer leiloma dai. That's I created the world. Baruch explains. We say in Parshas Vayera State, ve'eir al Avram, al Yitzchak, ve'al Yankov, bekel Shakai. Shmi Hashem. So the first one, the world was around 1,500 years, and the first one that noticed that yesh bir labir manik was the first one was Avram Avinu. That means he noticed there is a Shem Shin Daladid, which is called Misha Oma Loiloma Dai. He created the world with a tzimtzum until he came to the right. Dai means we come to the right measurement, that if I'm going to make it more materialized, they won't see me. If I didn't materialize it enough, they're going to come back to be rochnis like Malachim. So I need people should go around here and feel as if they're the boss, but they should also get to the understanding that the Rebbeinu Shalom is the boss here. So when the Kodesh Baruch Hu saw, Avram Avinu understood that he met the Rebbeinu Shalom Hashem Shakai. That means he met the Rebbeinu Shalom, that I know from now on, anything that I materialize more than a Kodesh Baruch Hu materialized, I lose track. That is, anything that I take off of the materialism, I only do what I have to do, but I'm not going to do anything more that materialism that that we don't have to do, so I won't distract. These days, you have Wi-Fi, you have all kinds of connections. The garbage truck goes by outside and makes a big noise. I don't know if you have your garbage trucks down here, but when the garbage truck goes by the noise, usually you lose your connection on the phone, you lose connection to Wi-Fi, whatever it is, and things get messed up. That means the same thing, our connection to the Baruch Shem is not more than Wi-Fi. That means, it's called Nefesh B'Nefesh, Neshuma B'Neshuma, Ruach B'Ruach. It's called something more spiritual, but the spiritual is there. These days you have the Wi-Fi, all the high-techs, you can understand it much better, what it means. That actually any extra noise, any extra things that disturbances is actually bothering. So disturbances can be noises, it could be materialism. The Maggid calls it Mada Lochsana Lechavach Lusavin. The guy asked from a hill, I want to be a ger, I want to learn all the Torah. And he told him, but he said it in a Aramic noise, Mada Lochsana Lechavach. Whatever you hate, Lechavach, you said Lechavach means chibur. That will connect you to the Baruch Shem, just keep back, because you're the one who's losing out. Maybe you have a lot of fun, you have a lot of feelings and all of that, but at the end of the day, you're going to lose your connection, which actually, who are you? A person is a chelik elokayim mimah. What are you looking for? Since he put me into a place which is called chomris, which is called envelope, which is called hidden, he wants us to look for him, and we should see the way a person looks for him. So the more he's spiritualized, and the more he takes off from materialism, the more he builds the spiritualism. The more he puts on the materialism, the less the spiritualism. So it's all totally on nefesh of a person. There are people that are very spirituality, so anything materialism gets them off track. There's very, very, very fragile, all kinds of machinery that you have to keep it very clean, otherwise things go amiss. The more it's chomris, the more it's gashmi, so it's not so fragile. So that actually is called the neshumas. Used to say the neshumas that are not happy, something goes wrong, they get lost. It's not because there's something wrong with them. Just the opposite. They have an opportunity to pick up the waves that someone cannot pick up that wave, and when he's missing that wave, is something missing from him. So actually, he must get to that wave. That's we explained it in today's high tech, we call it. Now, so we got to the pusik. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world to Rasha. Rutzei levoi b'midas hadin. V'shitfoi lemidas horachman. So we understand what does din mean? Strict, like your boss, you didn't do it. You got a dollar up. This is din. Rachman, yeah, it's okay. I'll put a blind eye, everything will be okay. That's what we learned. Comes the Bush says the way it works all together. Different. Din means Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world. We say by benching, we say nevuach la'alekeinu. Says the Tosis Yontav on the spot. Why do we say Elokeinu? Why don't we say Nevuach Hashem? Havayis. It says Elokeinu means din. Kadosh Baruch Hu, you created me. You're giving me a job. I need a salary. I need machinery. I need. All the way to over 65 with my pension. I have to see. So man the Yov Chaya Yohiv Mezoina. You created me. So we believe that we deserve it. It belongs to us. We have to get it because you created it. There's a whole shmiz. We're not going to go into this. So that's midas hadin. But so if I knock on the door every morning, the Baruch Shalom, listen, give me parnusa, give me this, give me that. It belongs to me. And what is one other half? Yeah, but I created you, but I created you for a reason. I created for a reason that I want you to go around here and recognize me. So what's going to push me in the way to recognize him? If I go around, if your child gets used to getting things without giving anything back, so he's going to get spoiled. We have to get him into get him into a certain masgeret. How does the Kadosh Baruch Hu help us get into the masgeret? So first we have to talk what is our connection to Ribono Shel Olam. The connection with Ribono Shel Olam, the Prior Tzarusha says, the connection is in emotions. Where do I really feel something spiritual? Is emotions. I can feel it. I can understand where it comes from. I can tackle it. I can work with it, and it pushes me. But nobody does anything without an emotion pushing me. There's 7 emotions that come out of 7 midas, we call it. Chesed, Gvura, Tveres, Netzchot, Yisod, Malchus. It's called midas. Until they come down to us, they're all messed up and called emotions, which I can take the emotions to material things. I can take the emotions to spiritual things. It's up to me. No, it's up to me. Hashem Amasa. I'm down here. How did the Rosh Chochmah says, no, if the emotions were on the Sefer Rosh Chochmah and the spirituals out in the street, we wouldn't have any problem. Right now, the emotions out in the street, and the Rosh Chochmah is talking about spiritual. So what do we do? Where do we take care of it? What a person has to take into account every time, the way he takes the emotions, he has to get from the emotions up to the source of the emotions, which is called thinking. It's called machshava. Machshava, that is the place in Chochmah where we connect. Chochmah, machshava is thinking, we call it, the 3 types of thinking. Yesh chashiva rikshit, which is called thinking emotionally. There's chashiva sichlit, mental thinking. And there's chashiva emunah, believing thinking. What we're talking here tonight is usually thinking about emunah, which is also, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, you're not going to leave the emunah because of that. Because if you're going to leave the emunah because of that, you didn't come. All I'm explaining, if you take the materialism, you take the spiritualism, and you take the Ribono Shel Olam, which is Toiv Hashem Lakoil, and you know HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you everything, and He gives you the koiches, and wants to elevate you, so it works. But until that works, we need a lot of patience. That means, how do we get that patience? We must go over to emunah. The same thing, the thinking logical, is we also have that problem. We can figure out a business deal, everything, but at the end of the day, we're bounded. And things get messed up, I get messed up, I don't know what to do. We have, and Bechlal, the main thing that messes up is thinking emotional. Sometimes I come into a place, I'm sure everybody hates me, and I'm sure that I did the West it's a Yom Tov, and I can swear on it, and I'm sure I destroyed my whole life because I was sure. Who told you I was sure? They call it intuition, they call it these days. Right? מרגיש, אתה בבטן כאילו זה משהו פה בארץ, כן? אני מרגיש, והמרגיש, there is something right in that, because there is intuition of the person, but you have to take in cheshbon that it can take you off course too. So how do we stay in course of our thinking emotionally? How do we stay in course, not get off the track, thinking logically? How do we don't get off the course, thinking emunah? That means, because Baruch Hu, the first connection starts emotionally. What happens if I get off course? So Kadosh Baruch Hu helps me, He brings me a Tov V'Voh. What does Tov V'Voh mean? He created the world, and the minute, just like you drive a car, and you go a little bit off on the side, they make these bumpers these days. Or these days you have the highway, whatever it's called, and you get too near the car, it starts making noises, so you can get into the wall. So the same thing, that's a Toiv V'Voh. A person has to know, every time he's in a Toiv V'Voh, it's not because we want to punish you, we want to keep you on track. I can see it when the IWAX, whatever it's called, starts making noise in the car, the ABS starts working. Wow, what's going on here? And then I can thank the ABS, I can thank all these devices that are helping me to stay on track. So Kadosh Baruch Hu actually wants me, at the end of the day, we should get to emunah. Tzadik b'minasa yichya. But we cannot start with emunah. We don't do anything because emunah. We do things because we feel like doing it. I cannot get a person to do something if he doesn't feel he's doing the right thing. So even though, but feeling is something mixed up, it's with emotions. And those emotions is also tov v'ra. The same thing is the same thing. Ja, schon mal ich so. Also das Chaim so. Yeah, okay, it's okay. You can hear me on Call Loose, you can hear me all over where you give you a mail, I can send it. Ari. Give me his mail. Send them the. I'll send. Sorry for coming too early today. I kept doing it. Yeah.
What's the connection between intuition?
That is emunah. I believe that intuition, which comes from the midas, comes from the chachma, and the chachma comes from the Bonishlam. But I cannot feel it, I cannot understand it, and I cannot explain it. But so, what do you want from me? I don't need from you. I need the Derech from Busha teacher. I need from you one thing: recognize your total v'vol. Recognize, be alert. Every time that you lose your mind, every time you don't understand what's going on, it's not because you are something a defect, because it's something came out of the factory, not how do you call it in English? Defective. It's because that's the devices that Kosh Baruch Hu put you. That there's no other way that you can focus yourself all the way up to Emunah, only the Torah way. So when I feel of doing something. But exactly, it comes Erev Shabbos. We'll take the simple thing. Everybody is the biggest Gehenna we have on earth is the Erev Shabbos. We have to wash, we have to get things that are ready, and we have to go to Shabbos Kodesh. What? Gehenna Nevad Erev Shabbos. Gehenna Motzei Shabbos. Why is it surrounded with Gehenna? Actually, the Gehenna is actually not there to disturb you. The Gehenna is because you want to go into Shabbos. Shabbos, you have to be focused. Ki'ilu kol malachtechu asuya. What is then ki'ilu kol malachtechu? I don't have chunt, I don't have my socks, I don't know what's kol malachtechu asuya. But once you be connected spiritual, a person that's connected spiritual, he's out there in space, he doesn't need anything. People that are materializing, they'll always be missing, even in Shabbos they'll be missing things. And they'll always be busy, how do I change, how do I take my bank Sunday, and how do I take, what I do, and I have to leave Motzei Shabbos after the time, they're all busy. That means in order to help us go in to the Shabbos with spiritual, which is called Emunah, we say, Boy v'shulam ates b'alagam. We have to go into the Shabbos only with emunah. If we're not emunah, we're not going to say boichalo, which is fine if I can keep on playing in the stock market on Shabbos and Sunday too. That means I have to believe that if just the opposite way, all the 6 days cannot stand only because of Shabbos. We'll go another 6 days. We'll go into that because Baruch Hu gives us the Shabbos actually to. Oh, that's all right. That's right. So Baruch gave us the Shabbos. Actually, we should reactivate our connection every time. So on Friday afternoon, you get this Tohu V'Voh. We have to recognize that the Tohu V'Voh is there to focus me in to connect myself to the Emunah, and it's helping me. So then what do? I have to what?
Like you're working through it, or you're just.
Tohu V'Voh helps you to put out your emotions now. Keep quiet, just keep on doing what you have to do. The Buddha calls it, keep on doing what you have to do. And if you don't understand how you're going to finish it, just keep on going. And even the minute you don't know how the Shabbos is going to be here, just keep on going. That's called Emunah. You have to turn off your emotions, turn off your understandings, turn off your understandings in Emunah, but not that there is no understanding, not that there is no emotion, not that there is understanding, but I cannot understand it. There is Leis Asar Punim and I, but right now he's preparing me to go into Emunah. That means every time a Kosh Baruch Hu gives me a Tohu V'Voh, It's there for a purpose to help me focus myself to emunah, because actually that's what I'm here. That's what you are, and that's what you're here for.
So you're feeling the emotions, and you're feeling whatever, any total, not just that.
Any
You
total.
just ignore it.
That also we have mitzvahs asay, we have mitzvahs lo tasay. So how do I know? It's tohu v'vo, the same when it comes not in tohu v'vo, it comes in tranquility, it comes in a good way. So it comes with pitoyer, we'll call it. So then you have the chayudach hinoim v'chol nesivos hayeshurim. If it comes against the Torah, automatically every Yid will never find himself, won't feel good, it won't help you a lot. Whatever a person is, wherever he'll go, the Rebbe says, I never saw a malach created from a vaya with all the wings. There's always something missing there. That means whatever you do, you'll always have some Torah. Now, how much Torah you need, it's up to every one of us. The more you're listening to it, the more you made the senses are working, so you'll pick it up before. The less your senses are working, so you just have to pick up the noise a little bit. But how much noise how the volume should be, it's up to the person himself.
And that's a skill to learn?
That's emunah. That's what we should call that avodah. Avodah, that means I have to start. Let's call it this way. You shouldn't, usually everybody teaches you today, just put yourself more into davening, put yourself more into learning, put yourself more. Which says you can put yourself more into more, but good mechaver is it's a good minute. It's going to go along, the motion will go along. Because Baruch is there within us. You have to use the Torah in order to take away, to put the guidelines, how much emotions to put in, to put the guidelines, how much. So I have to know that I am dangerous. Once I know I'm dangerous, so as long as I know it's the Chayadach Enoim, I can correct. But once, this is a famous pusik, says, David HaMelech, Shaul HaMelech was chasing David HaMelech, wanted to kill him. And he came and found that David HaMelech sitting alone. Shaul HaMelech had to go out and he met David HaMelech. David HaMelech told him, and Shaul HaMelech was there without any soldiers, without any ammunition. And David HaMelech said, I can kill you now. Why? You are Oidif. You are chasing me. Habula Hagach, Hashkim Haga, you want to kill me. I can kill you, but I don't know if I can do it. Why? You're a Melech. And a Melech, I don't know if I can kill or not, but it says, Aluch of Habula Haga, what do I do? It says, the Pusik says, Vayichris Knaf. Shaul, he cut off a edge of the cloak of Shaul. Vayach lev David oisoi, and David got heartbeat. Says the Al Shakush, what's that heartbeat? He didn't know what to do. Should I do it or shouldn't I do it? I must do it. He wants to kill me. But if it's against the Torah, so I'm ready to go on Mesiras Nefesh. So what do I do? Kill him or not? So you'll do a small thing. He cut off Knaf Shaul. Vayach lev David ois. He saw he's going into Torah, he's getting heartbeat. So he knew he's off track, so I know what to do. So every time when you go off track, that means every time you meet this of Tohu V'vo, and the Tohu V'vo is taking you off track, better connect to yourself and connect to the B'nai Shlem, and disconnect from your understanding and disconnect from your emotions, then it's trying to understand, you're going to mess up your emotions even more, and more feeling emotion, you mess up your emotions even more. So that's the Rosh is to explain, like Bakiva, a certain Besuai Masrekes Shulbaz. It didn't start from there. It started with small things. I got up in the morning, there's no milk for my coffee. That's also Masrekes Shulbaz. But there's no coffee, there's no sugar, so it's Masrekes Shulbaz. The whole day is messed up. So I can get along without coffee, or I can go in and start yelling and wake up everybody, where's my coffee, and mess up my day. So Bakiva said, Musa Yuval Yudi Vakemena, that I know what does that Vakemena mean. I recognize that every time I have a Tohu V'vo, actually it's there to focus me to my connection to the B'nai Shlem. So the more I'll take the Tohu V'vo as a sign or is damnut. How do you say it? Opportunity to connect myself. So the more I'll disconnect myself, I will connect. That's why I have to do a trip. I have a long trip to do, but I know there's an opportunity there, and so I don't care about the hardships that I have. So the Bakiva was always busy with the opportunity. Bush explains it very simple, just like a person, God forbid, is drowning in a sea. And there's somebody standing there and yelling him, hold on, I'm coming. So if he looks at the waves, he falls down. But he looks at the person that's coming, he gets koiches. The same thing is when we're in that tohu v'vohu, if we stop making accounts, how much this week the Torah says, Kates, Kolbusa, Bu Lefunai. Who said these words, Kates, Kolbusa, Bu Lefunai? V'yoyim Hashem, Kates, Kolbusa, Bu Lefunai, I'm going to bring the Mabul. Who said those words? The Dari is the Sita Acher, was talking into the Rebbeinu Shalom. In the spirit. You see, it ain't going to work. Just get rid of them, that's all. Kates, Kolbusa, Bu Lefunai. And because Baruch destroyed the help him, didn't help him. He had to make it back and even promise he's not going to do it anymore. But this Kates called Busa Bula still comes up. I'm going where the world has an end. How do you say it in English? Things are going kakai, they say in English, yeah, something like that. Whenever a person says Kates called Busa Bula that's actually the Sitach is trying to get me into turmoil emotionally, psychologically, logically. Why are you laughing today? I'm taking away your whole business. You don't need me anymore once you understand this.
How do we know whenever we get into what I'm understanding is that there's an emotional, once there's an emotional turmoil, some sort of tayu, then that's a rail, like a rail to stay on. But yeah, is that?
That's the rails inside, right?
Okay, so then how do we know what it's from? It could be from trauma, it could be from so many things.
So again, I don't come here to take out the psychological part of it. We have, as I said, there's three parts of it. There's the emotional part, there's the logical part, and there's the thinking emuna part, right? Which the therapists are doing it. I'm taking care of the emotional part and the logical part, we call CBT these days, right? Cognitive behavioral therapy. And behavioral is usually my emotional, but cognitive, you have to just decide the right way. That's what they said out. But that's where they end. I start after when they're finished. That means at the end of the day, a person always comes up, he was messed up. He always comes up, the trauma. Okay, so whatever he's going to teach me, it is. Face it and all of that. But it was there. Comes a Bush and says that's where the emunah comes in. If I know every Torah vow wasn't there on purpose from human beings, it wasn't there but mikra, it was there on purpose that the Bush brought it to there, because he knows I have a certain level to connect with him without a Torah vow at that same level. David HaMelech, without those Torah vows that he had from the day one when he was born till he went away from the earth, he wouldn't be David HaMelech Sulchai V'Kaim. Bush even says he was building this Torah vows all along, and he was finished already. He said, no more emotions, no more understanding. I'm with you. Now you can give me nisyonis. Don't tell me that because I'll get you off track. So you can give me off. I'm ready. The Baruch told you, I'll give you in whatever. You're not going to stand there. I surely won't stand there. Why was he sure about it? Because he was standing already all these years and all the emotional turbulence and standing. He was there already. So libichul bekirbi. Because Baruch told me, as long as an old man says, as long as I get up in the morning, something hurts me, I know I'm still alive. Once I get up in the morning, nothing hurts me. I know that means as long as you're alive, there'll always be something that have to be helped. So the more the neshama is a more spiritualized than before, the more we'll have that Torah vow present from Kodesh Baruch, as we call it, that we can cope with it. He's giving it to us, and He will not give it more than we can get to.
What does it look like to connect to Hashem? We said when I'm in the Torah will come
So what the Busha teaches us connecting, you don't have to connect, you are connected. That means you go around with your phone and you're connected all the time. You don't know how it works, and you don't care how it works, you just want it to work. Right? But once it doesn't work, and the WhatsApp was shut down for 2 days, then people suddenly started going, what's going on here? What's going on here? When we were children, know what's up at all. That means, so you know that you have to come to somebody that has to take care of it. But again, but what do companies learn from it? How to advance it? It shouldn't happen again. That means the more we cannot come to Ein Sof, because Baruch is Ein Sof. If we come to Ein Sof, that Ein Sof that became, we have more Ein Sof. So learning time never ends. But how can I measure where I am in Avodas Hashem, if that's what you want to ask? The Busha said there are two things that I can measure. Once my turbulence, when I get disturbed, my stress, how high does it go, the level of the heat? That means the more a person goes into the Avodas Hashem, Rusha said, I fall and you fall. I have Torah, you have Torah. You will take 2 weeks till you come back to yourself, but I'm all the time on the ball and know that I disconnect from the emotion, disconnect from my thoughts, and go into Emunah. Then I get, because we'll go to the next stage. What is the next stage? Next stage, he wants to give me understanding, which I couldn't understand before. He wants to give me emotion that I wasn't. Take Zakah, or take Hatzulah. They see things that I would see it, I faint on the spot. Why? My emotions run up, my understanding was like, people get messed up, it's trauma, right? What's happening with them? They go through courses, slowly, they go into, they learn it, so they take it all, until they can go to anything. Comes me on 45 Hashem Mishumas, they all got messed up. Why? Because they didn't know how to handle it, but they had to work, so how was they working? Without understanding, without emotions, and then they had to take care of the trauma, right? But Avodas Hashem, what the Busha says, I'll teach you, after all these psychotherapists, psychologists all come around, that's what the Bunchland wants to, so I call it, the psychology is called the Derech Eretz. They give you the ways how to tackle it the right way in Teva. But to live with Allah Teva, that's Emunah.
Do you need both, or can the person?
So we need both, and they cannot. That's also there's a Chabad Chus that came back from the Rebbe, and his wife asked him how was it by the Rebbe. Oh, don't ask. The Rebbe was talking about Tov V'Vor. So she can't disconnect it. And the Shon says, "Did you bring me some popcorn? If anything, the Rebbe ate." Well, I talk about the Rebbe. So I told him until someone the neighbor comes in and tells him, "Yankel, before you went to the Rebbe, you took a loan from me, 100 rubles. You have to give it back." "Why are you talking 100 rubles, Tov V'Vor?" So you gave him a zetz in the back. He says, "Oh, it looks like I'm not in Tov V'Vor." That is, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created this world. Nis'ava HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The whole thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants in this chomri, in these emotions, in this hide and seek, I want you to look for me. Because otherwise I don't need you. I have the maluchim up there.
Doesn't there come a point where you
Yeah, just keep on.
Hashem?
What?
There comes a point in, like, at least an understanding where, like, there's no possible way to find Hashem because there's so many levushim, or because we can't possibly grasp the concept of infinite.
So Rusha said I met.
That's the point.
So Rusha said I met the Rebbeinu Shalom only when I got angry. When I get angry, so if I didn't get angry, who was the one that didn't get angry? It's the Rebbeinu Shalom. So Rusha said the Moedik Chiddush. And I'll end off with a story. I can keep you all night if you don't care. If you're not in a rush, huh? Yeah? I'll tell you a story. They say in Lechowitz, they say a story that there was a Chaim came in the shul. Well, geht's so, אתה לא אומר קצת מה קרה לך, אתה מתמצא. Chaim, Shmulik, you had L'chaim in your own.
A lot of times, a lot of times, like, to quiet myself, I always feel a emptiness, like a total. It's like a constant. I mean, also I get angry.
The control of actually brings me to be quiet. The Rusha calls lechut demiyot teilu. The demiyot that I keep myself quiet connects me to the lechut. Then it turns over to teilu. I want to give you a job, but I want to see if you know in the secret service, as they call it, before they give somebody a bigger job, they send them a pition. They try to see if he's ne'eman, if he's trustful. So Kodesh Baruch Hu sends you Shalom Aleichem. Kodesh Baruch Hu sends you a Tova Volo, and wants to see if you're trustful that he's the one that's giving you, that he's the one to give you the kerkus. So then I can give you a new das. I can give you, but if I gave you the das that I gave you, and you're messing up all the time, why should I give you a new das? So every das is actually an opportunity that Kodesh Baruch Hu wants to elevate you. So that only the Yid can do that job because he is connected to the Ein Sof. You don't have to go look for it; it's in there. And just you have to do that connection. It's helping me giving that connection. But if I don't believe that that connection is here, that's why I get messed up. So the guy doesn't have that. That's why he gets messed up. And anyone, the name?
Sana Lieberman.
Lieberman. Oh, wow. So you have to love everybody. You know what Yiddish means? Lieberman is. Lieberman means Ohev Adam. That's what
What's the name?
Lieber means lahov. I don't know if you noticed this. You told me if yes. The Bush says, what does Gumel Ale Imer mean? He says, where do we learn happiness? From a small child. When is a small child happy? After been taken care of, fed it, changed, all the mother is holding him, it's happy. What's the happiness? Can't change himself. Can't even hold his bottle, can't do anything. So what is the happiness? The happiness is the helplessness that the small child have. And if someone's taking care of it, doesn't know what a mother is, has no idea who the mother is, all it can try is the smell and where it comes from and the love that he's giving, but he has no idea. But give him another mother, he won't accept it. He can be up to the age of 80. If you find a person that's not his mother, he ain't gonna accept her any time. That means you're connected to the Bnei Shalom just like a Gomel Ale Imer. You don't understand, you don't know how to do it, but things are being done. So the more you know you're helpless, the more you know, we call it these days in English vulnerable, so the more you will be able to connect. So what is your avoided in order to see the Bnei Shalom? Once you see your vulnerability, so then when I'm not vulnerable, how could it be that I'm not vulnerable? Must be somebody's lighting up to me, because I myself is darkness. Zogt the Bush of a story. There was a Dr. Gordon. He was Mekiv to the Margaret from Azich. The Margaret from Azich became the Dr. Gordon became a Rebbe one day, and he had a lot of Chassidim. One day comes to the Margaret from Azich. He tells the Margaret from Azich, everything is fine, everything's wonderful, but my thoughts come up. I call these days called it Geisen, called it. Nein, doch aus Englisch, was kann ich sagen? Sie schaffen. Wel Welt, hat er Englisch? Was sei da? Is Barminka, ja, heißt doch Barminka, ja. Benzi Barminka, ja. Ich habe gedacht, dass man Benzi, aber gedacht. Das hat gehabt, das von Benzi, aber because one day comes to the Rebbe, and we call it Girsa the Yankase. All the people get older, they start remembering things from yesterday, they don't remember, but things from a long time. So all the filming coming up in his mind of all the stupid things that he's done before he became Balchi. We call it Talmuds, we call all kinds of names today. So I said to the Mag, what do I do with it? It's driving me crazy. So Margaret told him, I'll tell you a story, a mushel. Somebody had a bar, but he's selling liquor, whiskey, and the guy knew you could come there day and night, knock on the door anytime. And that was his panus. He got up, he was working 24/7. And one day, he made a good deal or whatever, and he became rich. He didn't need this panus anymore. So he closed it. For the time, closed it. But from here and there, there were all kinds of going. They didn't know it's closed, so they came back middle of the night. They wanted to start knocking on the windows as they were used to. These come down, and knocking and knocking and knocking. The guy wants to drink, so what does he have to do? He has to dress himself, go downstairs, open the window, and tell them, sorry, we don't sell any more here. We don't sell any more this time liquor. That's the end of the story. That means, so How do you explain? It's the same thing. A person, the machshuvas come up. For 70 years ago, I was in this business, in this line. I'm not in this line anymore. How do you understand that story? So usually, Sforim understand the story. They call this ani nakikva. I'm clean. But if Derech Bush has no clean, that means he still has liquor at home. He still has whiskey, has everything there, and he knows how to drink, and he knows exactly what to do with it. So I'm not doing any business with it anymore. That means it's coming up. It says the Bush, it's coming up for my tov v'vo to see that if I am clean, he's the one that's clean, and I'm the one that's not clean. That means the base of you take a candle and you want to put on a candle, you put on fire. Try to put on fire without the candle, it'll go out. But you have a candle, so the candle itself is not the fire, but the fire is not the candle, but we need both of them together. So as long as the candle knows it's a candle and the fire is a fire, it can work. Once a person starts, that means a Kodesh Baruch Hu says, Yisron ha'or min ha'choshech. What does Yisron ha'or min ha'choshech mean? Why is light more than darkness? So it's very simple. If you're in a dark room, light is stronger. You come in a light, and the darkness goes away. If you're in a light room, and you come in with darkness, it won't chase away the light. So the light is stronger. But Bush says that's not true. Yisron ha'or min ha'choshech means I made you choshech. And now, if you'll know you're choshech, and if you're not choshech, you're or, you'll be able to connect to the Rebbeinu Shalom through that choshech. You'll be able to connect to me to know that I am the or. That without your choshech, if you would be or all the time, you would never know that your choshech Rebbeinu Shalom is or. You would never meet the Rebbeinu Shalom altogether. Since I made you choshech, I made this tzimtzum, but I gave it to you in din. So I give you rachmim. Listen to this one. What rachmim does HaKadosh Baruch Hu give you? He gives you the tov of all. In order to understand that this choshech can come back any minute. So if you're not in choshech, you'll understand, you'll go into din and know that the or is din, not rachmim. What HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you, that is the din. And the rachmim is actually the tov of all. So it's...
someone walking around meek like that, so that's, how can they be functional in this world, in the Olam Hazeh world?
Try not to be functionally, and the Chevrat Chashmal will cut off your electricity.
Right.
Okay, so what is? I can take the Chevrat Chashmal as Chevrat Chashmal, so I have to I can work out ways to connect my electricity to the neighbors and this and all kinds of ways, which is okay. You can go on this for years, or you understand it as a sibah that's Kodesh Baruch Hu tov of all. So you understand that Kodesh Baruch Hu wants you to move. Avram Avinu, we find
While you're moving, what do you do?
Avram Avinu, you're moving, you hear everything, sibas from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You hear that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is talking to you. And it says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Lech lechu, me'artzechu, me'ladetechu, me'beis avichu. Where? Elohim Hashareku. Artzechu, I say that's emotions. Me'ladetechu, that's the seichel. Beis avichu, that's emunah. You have to leave everything, go to emunah. How do I do it? Every time he started going, Avram Avinu, every time he was going, he wanted to go, but there's rain, you can't go. And there's traffic, you can't go this way, so Waze says, take this way. So he understood that it's not the Waze, it's the Bernstein. He starts going this way, and suddenly gets stuck there. Avram Avinu comes there to school, says the Badit, and how do you get there? There's a shira going here. Went along with them. Took a long lot, so it didn't work out. He got rid of him, and had all kinds of problems on the way till he got there. Once he got there, there's a new problem. Ruah bullets. Who's that Ruah? Again, it's not something that happened. Corona didn't happen. Somebody brought it to me. He brought it to me to uplift me and disconnect from my emotions and my understandings. And even the minute everything was disconnected, but I believe in understanding Emunah, but I kept on going with Emunah. So I upped the people that uplifted themselves from Corona, the people that got messed up from Corona till today. Why? Because suddenly they don't trust anybody anymore. Because the whole trust was in human beings. The whole trust was in their emotions. The whole trust was in everything. That's where they get messed up. So it says Yisun or Dafke min HaChoshech. That's what we started off the Rashi. Rashi says, "Rutz HaKadosh Baruch Hu livres ha'olam b'midas hadin." You should get everything. You deserve everything. I have to give you everything. But you have one problem. I have to help you get into the railing, as you call it. So he gives you Rachman. What's the Rachman? The Torah that he gives you. That'll help you focus. Don't live in denial. Don't push it away. Live with it. The more you live with it, the less you have to go into Torah the poil. You'll be able to become potential. How do I keep myself on track? The Bush's Chiddush was Chetusin Egdesumet. I don't have to bring you into pain physically. I don't have to bring you into chet physically. It's enough that you know bekoach potential that you were in chet, potential you were in cave. So now that I'm not in cave, it's Shavis Hashem Lenegdesumet. That's why I meet him.
How does that with my being the chosha fit with Anachel or common knowledge?
So we'll start again. The Kodesh Baruch is Ein Sof. Ein Sof means Ein Sof. Ein Sof means there isn't a boil and a nivru. There is no matzil and a netzal. There is no someone that gives and someone takes. It's all one. Kodesh Baruch Hu created the world because he wanted that there should be a boil and a nivra, a creator and a creation. Now these, if they touch each other, it becomes null, it becomes Ein Sof again. They're too far one from each other, so we won't see the boiler. So he made it in such a way, as we said, boiler oilis machrivam, mishum aloi dai. He created the world in such a way, which is called Tov V'Vol. The Tov V'Vol, the Ari calls it the mechaber, what connects between the Ein Sof and the mugbal, between the boiler and the niver, is the Tov V'Vol, is the connection. So you, as I said, very simple. You have any phone. That is a migbal. What's connecting you? The Wi-Fi. That's the Torah V'Vol. But if you, again, I'm saying it couldn't go too far because you can forget him. So I myself have to see it not to go too far. If not, something my nefesh will start getting hard, as we said before. If I get too close, then the Chavat Chashmal will come along and take care of me. That means whatever I'll do, I'll come home and my wife can't come first, so the shulchan will come into me. There will always be something that I leverage the Torah in order to get you on track. Why? Because you are connected to a bunch, and the more you can disconnect, the Bush says all the problems and all the sicknesses and everything that happens to a person is only to get him on track. It's not an oinish. It's not something that you can run around to doctors. You have to run around to doctors, but at the end of the day, you have to know because Baruch Hu brought it. Because even the doctors know it. The person doesn't believe in the doctors, he won't get out of it. So these days they send around in the hospitals making all kinds of clowns and all that to pep up the people. But they know very good a person in the ward, in the hospital with emunah, a person without emunah is a big difference. Shouldn't go to the hospital. You see a big difference.
If the Torah vote comes to help us to focus, how do we deal with the fact that normally when the Torah vote comes, we feel totally out of it?
Okay, so now that's what we're sitting here now. When I told him, well, you're not going to call me, I know that. I'm not going to call you either. That means we're doing it right now, the avodah. So we're building up our awareness, we call it Modahut. And we know what to do. There's red signs. When I chase a fire, take the steps, don't take the elevator, put out the light, that's what I'm telling you right now. When the fire comes up, shut off your emotions, shut off your understanding, your emunah. Just keep on doing what you have to do. Run the steps, keep on doing your errands you don't talk to people. Whatever you're going to talk, whatever you're going to say, you're going to mess up.
Can a person go off track?
But you have to keep on going. If you don't go, you're going to mess it up.
Can a person go off track in the Emunah?
Off track in the Emunah is when he wants to understand the Emunah. So that's, I'm sorry, I want to finish that off. So the Buddha says, I'm just finishing off. If a person thinks, so why did we say Yisun Am HaChoshech is? I am Choshech, and then the Yisun from the Or will teach me that the Rebbeinu Shalom is Or. But if I think that the awe which the Rebbeinu Shalom gives me, and we're not choshech anymore, I became the awe, that is apikosis.
Apikosis or gaiva.
Same thing. Ein ani v'yicho ein lodo v'moder echad.
How does the person know?
How does he know? So I said I gave two levels. One, the stress. If he goes into stress, it's because he's not ready to disconnect and go into Emunah, and he's not ready to accept anybody. Anyone in the world is not ready to accept, it's a problem. Why?
Another person?
Like another person. The Pirot says, even a Rusha, if you're not ready to accept that you would be able also to be in that matzav. And that you're not in the matzav because Baruch is helping you, so he is actually ma'or rachman by you, that you're not that's rachman. So then, the Bush added on, Nebuch, he has to be that way because I didn't live with the rachman. So then, actually, I can connect because the connection is not connecting to go dancing with him, but the connecting is to ask to bring up the rachman. What is the rachman? That actually, when I'm the cause that the Rusha once went in the street and they saw someone's Machal Shabbos, and I was started singing Shabbos. So he said, "Why are you yelling at me Shabbos? We're not yelling at you. We're yelling at the Machal Shabbos." He says, "No, the Machal Shabbos are 10 generations of Machal Shabbos." He has no idea what he's doing. But I am Shabbos, but I think I'm the one that's singing Shabbos. So Baruch has to show me somebody that's not watching Shabbos, that I should know that I'm watching Shabbos. It's a present. And Nebuch, the person has to be Machal Shabbos in order that I should hear that. Once I hear that, so I open up the Wi-Fi for the other person, suddenly something's changed by these people. And if you ever speak to Chalonim, you'll see that if you speak to them, Begov Einayim, you speak to them without throwing those things at them, but you speak to them with understanding, they go crazy for it because they're sure we hate them and all of that.
When does one know when one has to work on something together? Means to actually get help with emotional work, or it's actually an avoider.
So when do you call it Hatzula? Usually you don't want to call it Hatzula. When it's the Corona, people call him all the time. We don't want to call that Hatzula. Why don't you want to call that Hatzula? Because they come with the white clothes and all that. Everybody will see it. So either you suffer or you just... so Kodesh Baruch is out there, you should call Hatzula, call him all the time. It's just a question how long you want to take care of yourself and without calling the Baruch Shem. So the Chernobyl Rebbe was davening, the Abraham Shem, or Motor Shem was davening Shem and Esser, and it took a long time, and the Talmidim was standing there, and they hear the Chernobyl Rebbe saying, the Baruch Shem helped me that the servant, that's helping my wife at home, that she calmed the housekeeper, she should come back, she went away. They were talking, who knows what he's talking about, Mashiach, so they asked him, what is the Rebbe talking? The Rebbe got in a fight with the helper, and the helper left, and the house will be messed, and I'll have to take care of it. So I said to the Moshe, I'm helping, she should come back. He said, what? That's what you're down by Shemesser? Yeah, so if Kodesh Baruch wants me there, so I'll down there. But if I don't want to bother the Moshe about it, so I'll suffer.
Yeah. What is the dying MS? Why do we care about Rahman?
Again, today, today, we cannot get to the Torah. We can emes means we believe that behind this there is a certain emes, but I cannot. When I say Toiv, I can believe in Toiv, but I don't have the emes of the Torah. So I say Dayan emes because when you did that, then I believe that there is emes behind it. That's called Leis Asar Punim. I mean, every time something goes wrong, we say Dayan emes. Why do we say Dayan emes? We shouldn't get off track from that Tov Vavo. Chazal, even by Shiva, that they say you can sit Shiva. Busha said it works the other way around. Kodesh Baruch Hu knows that a person is emotional. A person has understanding. Why does a person cry when something goes wrong? It's called Bech. It's called Mavoch. He's all mixed up. The Ma'ot is also mixing up Amatam Madama. But once he starts crying, once he finishes crying, he gets a clearness. That means when I say Dayan emes, so I can use that emotionally. So I'm busy with crying all day and all night, and that soothes me. Or I'd use it in thinking in Emunah of doing dying the emes, so actually I neutralize the emotional, I neutralize my understanding, and I believe leis asar punim, it's you. I believe leis machshuvet tvisvai, I cannot understand it, but I know that oilam chesed yibuna, whatever you do, it's chesed. When does it get messed up? When it comes down here, I can see it as a ra.
Right, but everything that God does is, I mean, it's a mitzvah that God is dynamic. So why isn't it like Fira to care about Rachamim?
Again, so that that's what we said. We have to believe it's Rachman, but I cannot. I can say the Rebbeinu Shalom, he's emes. What's between emes and sheker and toiv and rak? Let's put it this way. Emes and sheker is emes, will be emes, will always be emes, and is emes. Sheker will always be sheker, and was sheker, is sheker. Toiv and rak is something that differentiates between me and you. There could be something that's good for me and bad for you, something that's good for you and bad for me, and something that's good for me today and bad for me tomorrow. That's mishtaneh lefi hamekabel. But emes never changes. So when something happens to me suddenly, which I wasn't ready to that, so first I have to go into Dayan Emes to connect myself, and then with the time I understand. Busha says once a person goes into a minute, he feels an easiness. He feels much comfortable. He does not explain what it is. He cannot feel it, but he believes it. So then you come to the toiv, but you cannot come to the toiv as when you're drinking a good cold glass of Coke and feeling it's good.
Right, but why do we need Rachamim?
Because that's again. So Bush said the opposite way around. Rachman means he has to help us see that since he created the world with such a way of hiding himself, and since he's hiding himself, we might forget to look for him. So he had to give us Rachman. What is the Rachman? The Tohu V'Vo is the Rachman.
But Rachamim usually means like.
Okay, so that's where we start. Okay, that's where we started off.
So
before the shir started,
it's not
then
MS Rachamim.
why not? If he's helping you, if you have an exam.
Yeah, but if God did it, that's.
If you have an exam, and the teacher sees that you're having a hard time and is going by and has rachman on you and helping you with the answer, that's rachman din. That's rachman. So every time a Kodesh Baruch Hu gives us Tohu V'Vo, that's actually the rachman. That the problem was, we'll go back again. Where did this all start? After 1,500 years, Avram Avinu decided there is Manig Lebir. So Rabban had no problem with him. I know I can, wherever I come, whatever I'll do with him, I'll always know V'Hemem B'Shem V'Yachshavei. One second, I'll explain it to them. Then comes along, Kodesh Baruch Hu says, I'm taking you, your children, the whole Doyos of Eden, you're going to run the show here. The whole world, I need it for you. But I think Chitzlos is not enough. I have to give you Eretz Yisrael. So he makes a Bris Ben Absurim. What is Bris Ben Absurim? We tie ourselves, unite ourselves, and we're one. How we're gonna do the procedure? What's going on here? But you're messing it up on the first day. You're talking to you, already messing it up. Says a Bushi, yes. With you I have no problem. But I have a problem next year. The children of rich people, they mess up usually. Why? Because they get all this money and they didn't work for it. They get it. You got to buy a lottery overnight. And you get messed up. Because Baruch said, I have to bring them into Mitzrayim, which is Rachman. That once you go out of Mitzrayim, you'll always know that you were in Mitzrayim. That's why I have to remind yourself every day, Mitzrayim, to know that your Metzias is Mitzrayim. And if you're not in Mitzrayim, so the Mitzrayim was actually turned over to Rachman. Not only I took you out of Mitzrayim, but I thank you a bunch that you brought me into Mitzrayim, that I should have that koyach, that potential, that I always remember that my potential is Mitzrayim. That's why he brought us even to Canaan. He didn't give Canaan was, we had to get rid of 31 Meluchim there. We had to get rid of the Timus of Canaan. At the end of the day, we got messed up and we were thrown out of there. When did that happen? When you forget that because Baruch Hu took you out of Mitzrayim, so you think that you're not Mitzrayim, you're the boss. So we lose the track. So Sama says we're missing today the Bnei Shalom much more connected to the Bnei Shalom in Gulas than we were in Eretz Yisrael. So why did he send us in Gulas? To connect us ourselves to him, which when we were in Eretz Yisrael, we weren't so much connected. Did I answer your question?
More or less.
but you have to believe it, and because that's,
I mean, I
5 minutes later, it ain't gonna work anymore. I'm just getting into the track. When the track gets on, the track will always be derailed. That means the teva will always derail me because the teva is out there. And I can feel it, I can understand it, and every time. So what we have to come out tonight. Every tova vote, and as long as my Bush said, I'm not. The derech is not here to solve your problems. The derech is not here to take away the problems. It's just how to look at them. Once I look at them, so it makes no difference. As we said, the Bekiva was a Maseicha Shel Basel, but it was a waste of time that I should be busy with the Maseicha Shel Basel when I have an opportunity to connect myself to the Baruch. Now, man, if you'll be happy, I'll get down already.
Only one question.
One
wasn't
question.
Noach first?
What?
Noach, it wasn't the first one to
Yeah,
see
but
the
Noach,
Hashem man.
yeah, but Bris ben Absum.
No, the Bris can, but Noach was the
Yeah,
first, right?
it's not all the Esther doors. There was every door. There's no such thing that a door without a tzaddik. Every door has its tzaddik.
אז הבשרים says that נוח מצא חן מעיני השם, חן יקימת אבקות השם, so you can still look at Hashem.
Okay.